On the week of my 3rd year anniversary working for the New York City Department of Education, I wanted to talk more about my testimony on how I went from the wait to the position. So after grad school, I started working as a contracted SLP in a public school. It was a temporary position, so there were no healthcare benefits, no retirement plan, and just no guaranteed stability. I knew that this was not something that could be sustainable in the long term, and I knew I wanted and I desired something permanent. And I also didn't have my own office or workspace, so I would have to make do with whatever room was available. And for most days, I would either push into the classroom and work with the students, or I would work in a science lab. Even with all those cons with working as a contracted SLP, I was still so grateful to have at least landed this position in a school setting because long term, I knew I wanted a permanent position with the DOE. So at least I got my foot into the door. One day, a female teacher approached me and she asked me, "Do you have keys to the female restroom?" And I said, "No, I usually have to go into the main office, grab the key to use the restroom." And she's like, "I have a spare." And she removed her spare and gave it to me. She stated, "Keys represent authority. You're meant to be here." Keys symbolize spiritual authority, access, responsibility, stewardship, transitions, and new opportunities. So after getting the keys, I decided to ask my principal if I could have a room to work from. So lo and behold, the principal actually finds me a room. He's like, come, you're gonna love it. It's like a suite." He opens up the door and it is bigger than I expected. It's more than I expected. Ephesians 3:20, God will give you exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ask for or even think. It came with its own restroom, refrigerator, desks, locker, supplies in the room, the same key that the female worker gave me for the restroom, also the same key that I used to open up the office doors. Fast forward now, I have my own room. I'm working with students from my office. And one day I get a knock on my door and another SLP that I've never met before comes into the room because one of the other teachers wanted us to meet. And she just begins to tell me how she's overworked and that it's only 2 SLPs in the whole school and that they need another provider. And she was just telling me that I should be applying, that I should apply, and that my principal could put a word in, she'll put a word in. And I'm just listening, but this whole time I'm like, this woman just met me. She doesn't even know me. But yet she is willing to put in a good word for me. She's willing to tell me about this position and push for me to apply and get this position. That's the favor of the Lord. I applied for the DOE position and it took a while. It was a wait and I grew wary, I grew impatient. And I believe around January, I applied for another position with a different company outside of the DOE. And they even wanted to interview me, but the day before that I was supposed to have an interview, I felt the Holy Spirit say, "Don't go to the interview. Don't do it." So I ended up canceling that interview. And I told myself, okay, I'm not going to look for anything else. I'm going to wait until the end of the school year. Mind you, we're in January or February of 2023. I'm going to wait until the end of the school year, which will be June. If I don't hear back from them, I'm just going to move on. But I didn't even have to wait until June. March 7th of 2023, I received a confirmation email, an onboarding email stating that I was officially hired as a full-time DOE SLP. In Proverbs 16 verse 3, it says, "Commit your ways to the Lord, commit your plans to the Lord, and He will establish them. He will make you successful." So through this position, the Lord has opened up another door for me to have a grant that's going to help me pay off my student loans. So I just wanted to encourage each and every person who's watched this that as you go into your professional life, your career, if you're going into school, and even if you're taking on an entrepreneurial endeavor, I pray that you invite God into every aspect of your business, every aspect of your career, every aspect of what you're taking on, no matter what it may be, and that He will guide your steps. So thank you guys for listening to my testimony. I hope it encouraged you. God bless.